What is going on, Misfit Nation? Welcome to another episode of the Misfit Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, Matt the Misfit. This is your AEW Double or Nothing 2023 review and results of a show that I thought was overall underwhelming, and I don't mean that in a bad way. There was matches I really enjoyed on the show, and there was matches that I was like, Like, I didn't think the show was, like atrocious. Like, for example, Hell in a Cell 2019 bad, or what was that damn show that with, what the fuck was the show? Battleground 2017 bad. Nothing like that. But it was just underwhelming. Outside of 4 matches, I thought the show was if I'm being completely honest. But I will tell you about what I think about all those matches in just a little bit as I plug the rest of this show here. You can follow me on the Twitter, Misfit Podcast TV, Instagram, Misfit Wrestling Pod. Social medias are the other social media platforms, the audio version of this: Spotify, Audible, Pandora, Amazon Music, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, and Google Podcasts, and of course right here on youtube.com/@Misfit Wrestling Podcast. Leave the like and the comments down and below. I have some podcast information coming up in a little bit, as I'm going to go in more in depth with what's going on this week with the schedule, because I'm going out of town this weekend, so there will be no Raw or there will be a Raw review tomorrow, but there will not be a Raw review next Monday or a SmackDown review on Friday. There might be an AEW review on Wednesday. I will let you guys know through the rest of the week. But let's talk about this AEW Double or Nothing show. The show opened on the pre-show with the Hardys defeating Hardys and Hook defeating Ethan Page and the Guns. Now Ethan Page is owned by the Hardys, or Matt Hardy rather. This match was not very good in my opinion, because I just don't think the Guns are very good. They're boring ass wrestlers. I like Ethan Page. And there's a spot in this match where I thought was a botch, but it was planned. Jeff Hardy slipped off the top rope, this is kind of interesting because this is Jeff Hardy's first pay-per-view match. Actually, this is his first match since, I want to say, in 11 months. 11 months ago. I don't know how long that was. Probably June, maybe. Though I think it's funny, this first pay-per-view match was Double or Nothing, and this is his first match back. I think it's kind of funny. But 2 Twist of Fates to the Guns, followed by a Red Rum by Hook to Ethan Page, and Ethan Page taps out. Like I said, nothing big happened here on this match here. It was all right. Lame at best here, but there's that. Then we opened with the main card. The entrants were coming out during the pre-show and all that. But we had the 21-man International Championship Blackjack Battle Royal. I thought this was a lot of fun. I'm not going to go through all the eliminations here. There's some great spots here with Keith Lee. Hopefully you're going to try to go back to that whole thing with Keith Lee and Swerve, but I fucking doubt it at this point. Kip Sabian is there for whatever reason. At some points, Best Friends attempt to save Orange Cassidy from elimination a few times, which was great. At one point, it was Trent, saved Orange Cassidy from getting eliminated by Big Bill, who had a great showing in this match here. He was eventually eliminated by Swerve Strickland. It was a great spot here with the Bandito, Commander, and the Lucha Brothers, which I would love to see them either team up or have a tag team match against each other. It would be a lot of fun. It was a little back and forth between Penta and Switchblade Jay White, which I'd love to see that match in the future. I wouldn't mind seeing Juice Robinson and Switchblade take on the Lucha Brothers in a future match there. And there was a great spot where Ray Phoenix, I think it was Ray Phoenix. No, it was Penta, was about to get eliminated by Daivari, and out of fucking nowhere, Ray Phoenix walks the top rope and just kicks fucking Daivari off the ropes or off the ring apron to the floor. That was a unique elimination there. Last few minutes of the match, it was just down to Swerve and Orange Cassidy. I thought this was pretty cool stuff here. Orange Cassidy reversed I think it was a tilt-a-war backbreaker maybe into the Slim Dog Millionaire, which was then into a knee, like a Kinshasa type looking thing there. Eventually they're both on the ring apron here. This was pretty funny here. Fucking what's his face gets Nana starts to get involved here. Orange Cassidy kicks him, and he's out for the remainder of the match here. And Swerve is hanging on for dear life, and Orange Cassidy looked like he's about to punch him, and he's like, nah, just kicks him, and he falls to the floor. And Orange Cassidy retains the International Championship in a fun battle royal. One of the better battle royals I've seen. I did like the battle royal AEW did last year somewhere around this time, where Brody King won the right to face Jon Moxley for the AEW Championship. When he did that amazing elimination where he choked and hung Darby Allin off the ring apron, which is still one of my favorite eliminations ever. I kind of want to see Shayna do that in the Royal Rumble next year. That'd be pretty cool. Actually, I think she did it before. No, she's done it before, but I'd like to see her do it again. Next up, Adam Cole defeated Chris Jericho. Sabu was supposed to serve as a special guest before, so he wasn't out there very long. But the match started. Everybody's throwing chairs at each other. Jericho and Sabu at one point. It feels weird reviewing a match that has Sabu in it in 2023, but here we are. Sabu and Jericho do a lightsaber battle with the chairs, and I believe, I'm trying to remember who landed on the table. Matt Menard was set up on a table, and Sabu, at fucking, how old is this motherfucker? Is he like 50 something? This man's almost 60 years old. He gets on the top rope and just squashes Matt Menard through the table, the only way Sabu can. And then he and Roderick Strong and the rest of the Jericho Appreciation Society was gone for the rest of the match. The crowd did not give too much of a fucks about this match. At one point, Britt Baker comes out to the ring, beats the shit out of Adam Cole. And Adam Cole, she beats the shit out of Chris Jericho with a kendo stick. Saraya then comes down to the ring. She gets her ass kicked by a kendo stick. They go up the ramp. They're gone for the rest of the match. Cole starts choking Jericho with a kendo stick, and then does the backstabber. Tries to get the cover for two. Cole. This to me felt like a little nod back to Cole's match with his match with Malachi Black at NXT TakeOver Philadelphia in their Extreme Rules match, one of the best Extreme Rules matches, in my opinion. Because Jericho threw a chair at Adam Cole's face, a la Sabu, and Cole falls through the table. Cole did the same thing to Malachi Black at the time when he was Aleister Black. Through the chair at Black's face, Black went through the table. It was two sets of tables, but this time it was just one for Cole. Jericho at one point receives a chain that actually has handcuffs. attached to it. He cuffs he cuffs Cole to one end. Fails to do the second end, and eventually Cole takes the other end and cuffs it to Jericho. And we get this impromptu, I guess, chain match is what JR called it. Panama Sunrise for a 2 count. Cole ducks a Judas effect, but he gets choked by the chain. Cole rolls through, super kicks, then hitting the gets hit the back of the head, does his own last shot, or the boom as they call it. Then Cole wraps the chain around his knee, hits a second last shot, starts unloading on punches, and then Jericho gets his eye busted open, and Aubrey Edwards stops the match. Adam Cole wins via ref stoppage. This was actually not very. This is kind of boring, if I'm being honest here. I was very looking forward to this match. I thought it's unsanctioned. Go insane. Because Adam Cole's last unsanctioned match with Kyle O'Reilly was good. It was pretty long. Thankfully, this didn't go like 50 minutes like the one with O'Reilly did, but it was all right. Next up, we have our AEW Tag Team titles on the line. FTR defeated Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal, with Mark Briscoe serving as the guest referee. This was actually a lot of fun, and I didn't like. I originally going into this match, I thought I was going to hate this match going into the show, rather. And this ended up being one of the better matches of the night, and it had no right being as fun as it did. At one point, FTR slides out of the ring for more offense. Jeff Jarrett pulls down the top rope. Cash Wheeler falls to the outside. Jeff Jarrett then grabs a chair. The fact that I'm reviewing a match involving Jeff Jarrett in 2023, and like Jeff Jarrett and Sabu were on the show. Very fucking weird to say that in 2023. But Jarrett grabs a chair. Mark catches him. Jarrett tosses Cash Wheeler to the barricade twice. Back inside, Jay Lethal suplexes Cash Wheeler. Jarrett holds Cash in the ropes. Then Karen, being the Karen she is, gets involved while Mark Briscoe's hands are full with whatever Karen's going on about. Jarrett stomps on Cash, which leads Jay Lethal. Or after Jay Lethal had another turn in, Jeff Jarrett does his strut, then flips off Dax Harwood. Dax Harwood. Oh wow. Been a long week, guys. He flips off Dax Harwood. Jay Lethal hits a neck breaker, continues to keep Cash in the wrong corner. Applies a figure 4 leg lock. Dax comes in with a head diving headbutt after he pulls he pulls Lethal from the apron to break the figure 4. Cash is able to leap over to get the tag onto Dax. Dax comes in, starts chopping away on Lethal. Dax hits a pair of German suplexes, followed by a brainbuster for a cover. Cash. Then Cash Wheeler punches Jeff Jarrett on the apron as Lethal and Dax are up on top. They get a superplex at some point here. Lethal chops Dax until he falls, but doesn't do the elbow drop because Dax pops up and hits him with a superplex. Like, how you would see Seth Rollins come up and just hit a suplex, not followed by a Falcon Arrow or anything like that. But we get Doomsday Powerbomb from FTR onto Lethal, then dives onto Jeff Jarrett. Dax covers, but Sanjay Dutt pulls him out of the ring. Dax chases Mark, chases fucking the pencil neck geek dude around the ring. Gets in the ring. Mark becomes between them. He ejects Sanjay Dutt out of the bout. He doesn't go anywhere, by the way. He also throws out Satman Singh. At least tries to. They still didn't go anywhere. Dax ducks. Jeff hits Mark Briscoe with a chair, with a guitar. And Mark sold the shit out of the chair like it had killed him. It looked great. Props to Mark Briscoe for that one. Jay Lethal gets hit with a shatter machine. I'm glad that they're calling it that again, because I didn't think I could have sworn they called it the big rig, but now they're calling it the shatter machine, which is very interesting here. Mark is still down Aubrey and Edwards, who we just seen previously do the Adam Cole match. She comes down the ring. Sanjay Dutt gets in her way. She pushes her at him, and then Karen just smacks the shit out of Aubrey with the guitar. Gets massive boos in the "fuck you, Karen" chant, which is fucking hilarious in 2023 because all the shit. Karens are stupid. Okay, let's see. Let's just be honest here. Lethal hits lethal injection on FTR. A double lethal injection, I should add, which looks really good if you think about it. Karen grabs the tag titles as the crowd, like I said, chants "fuck you, Karen." Dax escapes Jarrett and pile drives Lethal only to get a shot, get hit with the title. Jarrett plants Dax with the stroke, but Mark is still down. Mark finally counts, but Dax was able to kick out. Jeff Jarrett is just beside himself, and he slaps Mark Briscoe, and Mark Briscoe fucking slapped the goddamn hell out of Jeff Jarrett, allowing the FTR to hit Jeff Jarrett with the shatter machine to get the 3 and retain the AEW Tag Team titles. This was a lot of fun. It had no right to be as fun as it was, but thankfully Jeff Jarrett, Team TNA, did not walk away with the AEW Tag Team titles. What they're going to do with FTR next, going into the Forbidden Door, seems to be planted, I guess. Because backstage, Ricky Starks, who was in the Battle Royal, got eliminated by I think was it Juice Robinson? No, it was Brian Cage. But Ricky Starks eliminated Juice Robinson and Jay White. Jay White, he's getting interviewed. Ricky Starks keeps looking around. He starts getting attacked by Bullet Club Gold. FTR makes the save, and it looks like they're going to set up for Forbidden Door. FTR and Ricky Starks versus Switchblade Jay White. What's his name? What the hell is his name? I just said his name, Juice Robinson, and possibly. And the only name I can think of, because they sort of kicked him out of Bullet Club, El Phantasmo is who I can think of. And they might just give El Phantasmo. That sounds like a lot of fun, so there's that. Chris Jericho and Saraya, whatever you want to call her, challenged Adam Cole and Britt Baker to a tag match on Wednesday, because people want to see that for some reason. Next up, we had TNT ladder match, Wardlow, Christian Cage. This is kind of one of the worst. This is a boring ladder match, if I'm being completely honest here. Nothing too big. Like, this was I mean, there's some great spots in here, like Wardlow putting fucking Luchasaurus through a table, doing a swanton off a big ladder. My favorite spot in this entire match was Arn Anderson coming down here and fucking biting the hell out of Luchasaurus' finger and then making it bleed. That was it. That was the only thing I liked about this entire match. But Wardlow gets the win here. I don't know what they're going to do with Wardlow next. Maybe they'll do something with Luchasaurus. I don't fucking know. But this was not for me, if I'm being honest here. Wardlow is probably one of the worst TNT champions I've ever seen. Wardlow is okay in the ring. Like, he's okay. But, like, you've got to give me opponents that I should care about, because I don't give a shit about Christian Cage in 2023. Like, the whole thing with Christian kind of killed. Christian's entire momentum died when he went down with injury going into All Out last year. So I didn't care. Something else I didn't care about. Well, so Jamie Hayter loses the AEW Women's Champion because she's injured. That's basically what happened here. Listen. I'm given that she lost the title because of her injury. I'm not that mad about. However, the finish kind of was stupid as fuck. So, the exposed turnbuckle by Saraya Saraya, whatever the fuck you want to call her, happened. They tried to do the spot again for Full Gear, where Toni lost the title to Jamie Hayter. They did. Jamie Hayter gets the 2 count on after the Haterade, and what was it? And then Toni Storm, she tries to go for another Haterade. Toni Storm ducks, but Jamie Hayter launches her own self into the exposed turnbuckle without any fucking assistance to be pushed at all, and gets landed into a Storm Zero. Jamie Hayter threw herself into the exposed turnbuckle. Toni Storm did nothing of the sort. And Toni Storm is your new AEW Women's Champion, now becoming the only 2-time, the first of the second. No, it's the third talent to actually. No, it's not actually. No, forget. I just said that. Toni Storm is your first ever 2-time AEW Women's World Champion. After the match, Saraya and Ruby Soho celebrate with Toni Storm after the match. Next up, we had an open challenge match. Trios. House of Black defeated the Acclaimed and Billy Gunn, whatever you want to call them. The match was okay. Nothing special about the match. My favorite thing about the match was actually the pre-match thing with the Acclaimed. The fucking line with Dominic kind of killed me. Like, I fucking laughed out loud. That shit was funny. Something about a buddy being cucked by a kid named Dominic or something like that. It was great. But match was all right. The story of this match here was Anthony Bowens getting his leg worked on by the House of Black. Billy Gunn gets into the match and basically is dead after a while because Black Mass by Malachi Black pins him for the win to retain the Trios Championships. My hope now for House of Black going into Forbidden Door. Give me House of Black versus Naito, Shingo, and Hiromu. That match has to happen. Please, Tony, give me that match. Next up, Jade Cargill defeats Taya Valkyrie. This was not I thought this was kind of boring. Like I said, most Jade matches to me are boring. After one fucking Jaded finisher, Jade gets the win. After the match, they do the whole thing with the 60 wins and shit. Mark Sterling gets on the microphone and says, "Hey, we're going to do another match here." Out comes the obvious one to defeat Jade Cargill, Kris Statlander. Kris Statlander hits her pile driver move for the win. New TBS champion. Thank God. Now she's going to go away for a while. That being Jade Cargill, thank God. Now I don't have to see her and her boring matches on my TV screen ever again. Well, not ever again, for at least for the time being. This was always going to happen. I tried to tell people this. No one said, "Oh no, it's going to be Ember Moon. It's going to be Mercedes." No, it was always going to be Kris Statlander. They were holding off this entire stupid thing for Kris Statlander, who we didn't know if she was ever going to come back or not. So it was whatever. A match that was actually really good Uh, even though the build to this match was fucking shit, MJF defeated Darby Allin, Jungle Boy, and Sammy Guevara to retain the World Championship. This didn't need the main event. I'm sorry to tell you guys this, regardless of what people think, this did not need the main event, but this match was still good enough to be on the card. Like, this match is great. I do like, there was one part in this match here where they, all four of them, delivered their mentors' finishers on each other. Like Darby hit the Scorpion on Sammy Guevara. Sammy Guevara then hit the Code Breaker onto her. No. Darby hit MJF with the Scorpion. Sammy Guevara then hit Crossroads onto Darby, and Jungle Boy would hit the Undefeated, the kill switch onto Sammy, and Jungle Boy would get hit with the Crossroads by MJF, and I thought it was pretty cool. But at one point, Sammy is told to take the money and lay down. He almost did, but he didn't. Roll up, 1-2, nothing happened there. At one point in the match, I don't know when it happened, but MJF got his arm injured by a move with Darby Allin. I think it was a powerbomb spot, but MJF got hurt near the end. Darby tried to hit a coffin drop onto Jungle Boy, but MJF brings the title, puts it on Jungle Boy, gets to the coffin drop, and Darby is hit the title. MJF takes Darby down with the headlock, and for the 3, and MJF retains your AEW World Championship. This was actually a very good 4-way match for the AEW Championship. What is next for these 4 people? Who knows? I don't know what they're going to do with MJF at Forbidden Door, because it looks like, based on happened in the main event here, which I'm about to talk about, it's not going to be Okada. It's just not going to be Okada, because Okada is tied up, and I'll talk about that in just a little bit here, why they're tied up, and I'll talk about that just a little bit here. But, yeah. Main event, Anarchy in Arena, the Elite, Blackpool Combat Club, there's a band that's out there performing Wild Thing through like most of the match here, a la New Jack when he was wrestling. He did all those things there. This was all over the place. I can't even fucking do this match justice. This right here was my match of the night here. At one point, Omega, who has the Captain America inspired gear on, takes a trash can lid and he uses the uses it like a shield, like Captain America. And I thought it was funny that seeing a Canadian beat Captain America. I thought that was hilarious. Claudio came in there, hit some uppercuts here. At one point, Nick Jackson is in a submission move by Jon Moxley and Wheeler Yuta. Matt Jackson, who was seemed to be taken out earlier on a back of a white pickup truck from Claudio, he comes out hobbling to the ring, and he super kicks Moxley. And when he did, his foot exploded in his face, and I mean there was an actual explosion. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? I thought that was fucking hilarious. At one point, they brought out a leaf blower. Wheeler Yuta did. I don't know what the hell he did with it, but they just started beating people with it, so it was pretty funny. Moxley had a Death Rider for a near fall onto Matt Jackson, who, by the way, stomps on barefoot on thumbtacks, which Brian applied a heel hook Bryan applied a heel hook. Nick Jackson sentons to break it up. Nick is cuttered by the tax that he has in his foot. No, actually, that's Matt. Sorry, Matt has that in his foot here. Omega snaps Moxley. Claudio stops the V trigger. Bryan knees Omega, then Page. Because Hangman does this match too, doing some crazy shit here. Blood. A lot of people are bloody here. Rick Knox is the first one to bleed. Moxley is bleeding. Hangman Page is bleeding. Bryan elbows away at Kenny Omega, and the rest of the BCC joins in. Matt tries breaking it up, but Wheeler Yuta hits the low blow. Moxley shoves Tax into Matt's mouth. Claudio hits a uppercut. Yuta suplexes. Hangman breaks the whatever attempt they are going to do here. Page and Omega meet and realize it's 2-on-3. Page and Omega starts trying to take out the each members. Omega takes out Claudio. Bryan kicks away at both Page and Omega. Page hits Deadeye. Omega hits One Winged Angel on Bryan. Wheeler makes the save. Wheeler Yuta, that is, makes the save. Omega moonsaults onto Yuta. Page moonsaults onto Claudio. Callis is at ringside as Mox pulls Omega out. Yuta spikes Hangman with a screwdriver, and Hangman's gone for the rest of the match here. So that's gone because the screwdriver came into play after Callis handed the screwdriver to Wheeler Yuta. Omega hits the V trigger. Omega V triggers Wheeler Yuta. That is, Don Callis gets in the ring because he's getting ready to hit One Winged Angel on to Wheeler Yuta. Omega stops. He's about to beat the shit out of Don Callis here. Konosuke Takeshita kicks Omega out of nowhere and does the heel turn. Quote unquote joins BCC. We don't know. We'll find out on Wednesday. Wheeler Yuta strikes Omega with a screwdriver, and Wheeler Yuta, the ROH Pure Champion, pins former AEW, the longest AEW World Champion in history, the best bout machine, Kenny Omega, for the win. Blackpool Combat Club get the win. Callis chokes Omega as BCC and Takeshita celebrate as the show goes off the air. Following the match now, after the show went off the air, Kenny Omega mentions so Kenny, he says Kenny did a post promo teasing two non-AEW friends as backup, and the only two people that came to my mind immediately was Kota Ibushi and Kazuchika Okada. Reason being for Kazuchika Okada, and if I can pull that up here, because Okada is going to be doing a match with Moxley and the Blackpool Combat Club in it, because at Dominion next weekend, which I unfortunately will not be able to watch. Maybe, I don't know. I haven't decided how I'm going to watch that. Let's see, where is that here? It's a 6-man tag match, I believe. Here we go. 6-man tag match. It's going to be Kazuchika Okada, Tomohiro Ishii, and Hiroshi Tanahashi. They are the never open weight 6-man tag team champions. They are going to take on the team of Jon Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, and Shota Umino. Now, the reason I said this here is at Resurgence, Moxley and Okada got into it. And after that show, Moxley called out Okada for a match. So it looks like one of the planned matches, from what I have understand, is going to be Jon Moxley versus Kazuchika Okada, because I believe that was a match that was, I guess, planned at one point last year. I'm assuming so. Or at least, no, that was Tanahashi. Tanahashi versus Moxley was supposed to take place at at All Out 2021 and was pushed to Forbidden Door because of CM Punk's injury. So yeah, so there's that. And then the other one is Kota Ibushi, because they've been teasing that and setting that up for months. Because it looks like, from what it looks like, it's going to be blood and guts between the Elite and Blackpool Combat Club, which is going to be Moxley, Bryan, Yuta. So Moxley, Bryan, Yuta, Claudio, and Konosuke versus Kenny, Hangman, Matt, Nick Jackson, and the soon to be debuting Kota Ibushi. And I would not debut Kota Ibushi on Wednesday. I would personally wait until Forbidden Door. You know you're going to do that angle at the end of the show with because there's a good chance Moxley and Okada closes the show for that. You do the angle, the whole beatdown with Blackpool Combat Club and the Elite. They're doing their stuff here. Elite's coming out here to help Okada and whatnot, and then all that stuff, and then they get the numbers game here, and out comes Kota Ibushi. The Golden Lovers reunite. The Golden Elite reunite. And that will be your blood and guts match. Like I said, Moxley, Danielson, Yuta, Claudio, and Konosuke Takeshita taking on Omega, Hangman, Matt, Nick, and Kota Ibushi. But yeah, that was AEW's Double or Nothing. Like I said, underwhelming in a way, but not bad. Match of the night for me is obviously the Anarchy in the arena. Follow that up by the Four Pillars match, and then the tag match, and then it's not really my least favorite match of the night, but I did enjoy it. The 21-man Blackjack Battle Royal. Worst match of the night, to me, I think it was, unfortunately, and it's not their fault. It's the circumstance, but it is the AEW Women's Championship match, which sucks to hear because of the last time these two had the match for the title. It was one of the best pay-per-view matches that the women ever put on. So, performer of the night, I'm gonna go. That's a tough one here. I'm gonna go with. We could go with Orange Cassidy, because Orange Cassidy seems to always put it in the work here. One of the best champions in wrestling right now. He's defending his title every week. Puts on banger matches. Orange Cassidy's great. What do I give the rating for the show here? I give it a 6 out of 10. I would bump it up to 7. But because of the women's title match not being up to par with whatever I thought it was going to be, I'll give it a fine 6 out of 7 show. So what's going to happen for the rest of this week? Well, I will be back here for Monday Night Raw review. That is still going to happen. I'm going to try to do AEW Dynamite. Maybe. That depends on how everything's going, because, like I said earlier on in the show, got like I said, I'm going out of town. So we got a wedding to get to. My cousin's getting married, so we're gonna have. I'm gonna be busy this week, this weekend. There will be no SmackDown review this coming Friday, and then I'm pretty sure there will not be a Raw review next weekend or next Monday. But I'll let you guys know on everything when it comes to Dynamite. Tomorrow there will be a Raw review. That's still gonna happen. So if you like what you see here, hit the like in this comment down section. All that stuff, that social media is going to be down in the description, as always. If you haven't checked out the other stuff I've done this weekend, I've actually finally been back doing my week here, which is insane. You got the Monday Night review from Raw from last week. Monday Night Raw review from last week. I can't speak for some reason. You also have the Dynamite review from this past Wednesday. You have the SmackDown review from Friday. You have the Stardom review from Stardom review from yesterday. Fashion Champions, and I had my little a little extra coverage into that review of Night of Champions as well. So far, neither Tony Khan or Triple H ticked me off this week. So that's an A+. They put the title on Asuka. That's fine. They give Seth Rollins the championship. Awesome stuff. They gave the main event spot to the actual match for Double or Nothing. It should have went on last anyway. So there's that. I've been Matt Misfit. This is Misfit Wrestling Podcast. I will see you guys back here for Monday Night Raw. Until then, we're out.